Soprano Jill Gardner. She's been battle over the Tosca this summer. Mississippi Museum Rooms Courtyard. Miss Gardner has been seen on 11 opera stages, including Lyric Opera in Chicago, Florida Grand Opera, Mississippi Opera Theater, and Arizona Opera. We're honored to have her with us today to sing God Bless America.
Show you that clip that you just saw of me singing God Bless America at the 7th inning stretch for the New York Yankees Minnesota Twins playoff game that I had the honor to sing on ESPN back on July the 4th, 2014. Can you believe that? 6 years ago. I thought that was a very fitting way to start today because although there's no baseball happening right now, dang it, I'm not going to let that stop me. And that's why I've got my hot dog. I got these dogs chewing on their Lovejoys. See this? I've got my caffeine-free Diet Pepsi. This is my dad's favorite. I love you, Dad, if you're watching. I got my ball cap with a shout out to Pure Bar. But most importantly, I've got my flag. Isn't that beautiful? Jake and I figured out how we could hang it. Because we have to have a flag on Memorial Day. Because what is Memorial Day? Well, for most of us, Memorial Day means the beginning of summer, which means we can get out of school. And I know all of y'all right now are ready to get out of that Zoom school that you're doing with your moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas. Believe me, I know. It also means that pools are starting to open up, which is why I'm wearing my Pure Bar cap, because I got to get my body killer in my bathing suit so I can look cute this summer while I'm at the pool, right? And all of these things are important. But, come here, bear. Come on, boy. Come on. But more than anything, Memorial Day has an even more special significance. And that's because Memorial Day is an American federal holiday in which we always observe on the last Monday of every May in the calendar year. And this day is always to reflect and honor the men and women who have given their lives in service to our country by serving the military. And that is very significant. And this year, our president has asked all of us to hang our flags half-staff in memory of those who have lost their lives to the coronavirus. We will never forget 2020, will we? Because it changed all of our lives. It was going along just fine, and then all of a sudden, here we are having to deal with the coronavirus. Or I call it living through the corona days. And so I do think that it was the right thing to do to lower our flags this year on Memorial Day, even as we remember all of those in our military who have served our country. I think it's also very important right now that we remember those who have lost their lives to the coronavirus, because we will never forget this. And we hope, as I oftentimes say to you, that going through all of this will make us more loving and more kind and more humble when we get to the other side of these corona days, right? But also, with our flag, what is something that we always do with our flag, right? We say our Pledge of Allegiance. And I thought to myself today, how good it would be to just take a minute. We will say our Pledge of Allegiance together, but just to take a minute to really understand what the Pledge of Allegiance is, right? The original version of the Pledge of Allegiance was composed in 1892 by Francis Bellamy, who was a Baptist minister. Isn't that interesting? And it was adopted by Congress to be our pledge in 1942, right? And the interesting thing that I'll put here is that Flag Day, which is not a federal holiday, happens on June the 14th, just a couple of weeks later from today. And we remember Flag Day because on June the 14th, 1777, right, the Second Continental Congress adopted this flag. Now, not this specific flag. We've gone through many metamorphoses of this flag in our country. But it adopted the flag as a national symbol for our country on June the 14th, 1777. And so that's when the flag became very important in our lives, right? It was the year after we gained our independence. But on Memorial Day, we oftentimes will look to this flag as a symbol, and we will say our Pledge of Allegiance, which the most recent alteration of this pledge came on Flag Day. That's why I had to tell you about Flag Day. In 1954, when the words "under God" was added to our pledge. So I think it's important today, Memorial Day, which was originally known as Decoration Day, originated in the years following the Civil War and became an official federal holiday in 1971. So you see, that was almost 200 years after Flag Day was adopted, and this flag was adopted as part of our country's Constitution. Oh my gosh, there those dogs go. They're chasing squirrels, everybody. Woo! Get it, Frida. But many Americans observe Memorial Day by visiting cemeteries or memorials, holding family gatherings, and participating in parades, which we're having to do a little differently this year, but at least we're able to start to reopen and be together again in very special ways. So I think it's important today for us to remember all of these things on Memorial Day. And why don't we stand and say our Pledge of Allegiance together? Okay, I'm going to stay seated so that I can stay in the frame with you, okay? But let's put our hands over our hearts and let's say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So while we move to our next little segment, I'm going to eat my hot dog. And that's why I've got my other little pin on today. This is called my victory pin. And I ordered it so that it can have the red, white, and blue wings on the sides. But this victory pin stands for my victory gardens. And I'm starting to wear it this summer as I celebrate all the gardening that I'm doing. And I'm going to take you now with my victory pin on and my hot dog to go up and see the garden, because you're not going to believe it. So see you in a minute. Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to my victory garden. I can't wait to show you. First, I want to show you this. Come here. Look at all of these jalapeno peppers we got going on. Can you see them all? It's like they busted out. So beautiful. And then here are all my tomatoes. I think this will be the best one for you to be able to see. Look at these beauties right here. I got me 3 gorgeous ones growing all right there together. Due to Corky's gravy. Thank you, Uncle Corky. But yes, and then folks, here is my garden with Bear. Look at this beautiful thing. Can you believe it? It is so awesome with all the radishes, the cucumbers, more tomatoes, my eggplant. Check out these collards right there, people. Y'all need to be coming to West Road. We're going to have a pot of collards going on all the time. But my peppers, my lettuce, my rhubarb, my zucchini and squash down there. The English sweet peas right there by my irrigation system. I'm going to put up tobacco sticks tomorrow, so as they grow, they'll have trellises to grow on. My green beans, my corn, and my okra. My okra is starting to come up. I had to reseed right here. This is the only area. My lima beans aren't working. So I reseeded those this weekend after all that rain. And we'll just see, what happens. I may be doing something else there before it's all over with. But because I think we're going to have plenty of food, don't you think, boys and girls? I am so thankful. What a joy. And so, on this wonderful Memorial Day, my friends, let's say our final prayer. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we are absent, one from the other. And I hope to see you next Sunday at our drive-up victory worship. Bye-bye.